Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing the best beauty products of 2018. I'm honestly kind of shocked that it is the end of 2018 already. When this year first started, we were off to a rocky start. Honestly, you guys know I was dealing with a lot. I was off YouTube. This year I've been off YouTube a total of like 6 months out of like the 12, so we're doing really good in the YouTube department. Other than that, my life has pretty much been the best that it has ever been in my life. I've never been so happy with myself and like my life in general. This is not the video that we're going to get into all that, but I do have a ton of products here. Not too many. I did have to narrow it down because honestly, there are a ton of products that I liked this year, a ton that I've tried out, but none that I could say like this is the absolute best of 2018, something I used over and over and over and actually really loved. Without further ado, if you guys want to see the products that I have been loving for the year of 2018, then just keep watching. So guys, we're going to kind of start in order of the face. So I did group my primers and setting sprays all in one. I think that they kind of are, like, they go hand in hand. One is to prep the skin and one is to finish the skin off. So we're going to start with primers first. I have 3 here that I have been absolutely in love with. We'll start with the one that I haven't used in a while because the other 2 have kind of just taken over. And that is the Cover FX Blurring Primer. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this. This is definitely very similar to the Benefit Porefessional, I think, and that's probably why I liked it so much. I did go through 2 tubes, so this is my 2nd tube. I did start using this in the beginning, middle of the year, when I started getting BoxyCharms sent to me, and I loved this. I got my aunt hooked on this. She went to the store, she bought it. She loves how it makes her skin look so smooth, and that's exactly what I use this for. I use it in this area of my face. I do have some big pores. I did have oily skin. It's definitely become more normal to combinations sometimes. It just kind of depends on the season and how my skin wants to act. But this I have been loving just to kind of fill in my pores. So if you guys want something different than the Porefessional or you have had bad experiences with that, this is very, very, very similar to that. And I definitely suggest giving it a try. So these next 2 primers I kind of use together. So the first one is the LA Girl Pro Prep HD Moisture Nourishing Face Primer. And that is a tongue twister. I have really been liking this primer because, like I said, my skin has went from like oily to not necessarily dry, but it's more normal to like dry patches like sometimes maybe in the winter. I've been liking the way of my skin looking a little bit more natural and a little less matte. I know that for a long time, if you guys are OG subscribers here, you guys know that I have had oily skin. I've always used kind of mattifying primers and mattifying foundations and mattifying this and that to kind of like control my oil. But now I can kind of let my skin live a little, and I don't mind the way that my skin looks when it looks a little dewy or a little like natural, where it kind of has some like natural glow to it. So this one I definitely like to apply before I apply anything else to my skin. It's kind of like a moisturizer in a sense, like a primer slash moisturizer in one. I don't necessarily know if it helps my makeup last longer or stay on longer, but I do know that it kind of hydrates my skin before I do apply my mattifying foundation. So as I said earlier, I do have pores in this area of my face that I don't necessarily love. So I use the Urban Decay De-Slick Complexion Primer. It's the Shine Control. So I use that in this area, a little on my nose, and kind of just in my T-zone, just to kind of control any oil that may come throughout the day. I have used half of this already. Like I said, I only use it in those areas. It's definitely bomb. I've been using it for a couple months now, and I honestly don't think it dries me out too much. I was worried that I was going to use like one of these primers that are like a liquidy mattifying one, and that I was so nervous like sucking all the moisture out of my skin, but I've not had any problems with this. I think it's because I apply the moisturizing primer first, and that kind of helps not make me look like too dry and too caked and too like unnatural. So I have 2 setting sprays here. The first one I want to talk about is something that you guys have seen on my channel for a while, and I've talked about it for a while, but I thought I would mention as kind of like an honorable mention, and this is the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. This year I did get in contact with Urban Decay, and I am on their PR team, so they did send me these. Honestly though, I've been using this for a very long time. My mom has been using it also. She uses the All Nighter. I use the De-Slick just because I have a little bit more oily skin. I have loved these setting sprays for a very long time. I honestly don't know if it really does make my makeup last longer, but I do like to just spray my face. It makes me feel good when I set it, and it also adds a little bit of moisture and takes that powdery look away from the skin. That's honestly what I use setting sprays for, not because I think that it's going to make my makeup last longer. I do steps in the beginning and middle and end of my routine that are going to keep my makeup on all day. But this I like because it takes away that powdery, cakey look, and it makes my skin look a little bit more natural, and it makes everything I just did blend flawlessly together. Next one is definitely my favorite setting spray of all time, and that is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Setting Mist, whatever. I have been loving this since I picked it up. I picked it up probably like a month and a half ago, and I used a whole complete bottle, and this is my second one that I just purchased today. For $15, this is amazing. The Urban Decay one is like $27, and this one, like I said, is $15, so it's almost half the price. And honestly, I feel like this one lasts a little bit longer. It does come out at like a very, very, very fine mist, and as you guys can probably see, oh, it smells so good also. And usually like fragrance is something that I kind of like steer clear from because I do have sensitive skin, especially on my face. But this has not caused any issues with that, which I'm very happy about. This does give me like a really natural finish to my makeup, like maybe a little bit more on the dewy side than natural. After I spray this on my face, I will go over my foundation with like a little bit of powder in the areas where I notice it's a little too dewy. So sometimes on the tip of my nose, it's a little too like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like shine, and like kind of sometimes on my forehead. Other than that, I let it go, and it makes my makeup melt together so well. And I honestly thought that this was hyped up like beyond belief, but honestly I love this, and I probably won't use anything differently. Well, that's a lie. I definitely will use other things that are different, but this one definitely takes the cake for my favorite setting spray of all time. So now we're on to foundation and concealer. I only have one foundation. The reason for that is because in the beginning of the year I was already using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and that was in my last Best of Beauty, and I was like, there's no reason to keep mentioning it. So I wanted to mention the one that really has changed my entire makeup game this whole entire year. And I am very picky about foundations. Again, if you guys are OG subscribers here, you know that the search for the best foundation for me has been on for probably years, and I finally found one that I absolutely love that does everything I need it to. So that is the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. You guys are probably sick of me talking about this, but it needs to be mentioned, especially because this is my Best of Beauty. Let me tell you why I love this foundation so much. First of all, I have oily skin. This is a matte foundation, but not too matte. It's like demi-matte. So it's not like drying my skin out where I look like I'm 70 years old, but it's also not giving me dew. It is so lightweight on the skin, but also full coverage. And that is something that blows my mind, something I never really thought I was going to find. I can sit all day, and you know how usually like after 12-hour wear of foundation, you're like, okay, I feel this sitting on my skin. I feel this in my pores. I literally need to scrub my face with a Brillo pad and get it off. This is not that way. Sometimes I even forget I'm wearing foundation, and I have to be careful that I don't like swipe my hand across my face and remove it. It does have a claim to be transfer resistant. I don't agree with that claim. It's just something that I have noticed. I have had this foundation for a long time, and I've definitely got it on my boyfriend's clothes, on my boyfriend in general. I've gotten on people I've hugged, so I definitely don't think it's transfer resistant. So I don't agree with that claim, but everything else, it's amazing. So I have 3 concealers here that I have tried this year that I absolutely really love. The first one I'm going to mention, because I did mention it last year, but it definitely has been a favorite this year, is the Tarte Shape Tape. I've kind of fallen out of love with this just because I feel like it can be a little too much. Sometimes it could be a little too heavy, and I feel like I don't really need that much coverage anymore. But sometimes I will like to use this just to kind of switch it up, and I do like it. It definitely lasts super long. It is very full coverage if that is something that you guys like underneath your eyes or on the rest of your face. Even if you want to cream contour with these, they are great for that. If you want to conceal a blemish, they're amazing for that too because they are so full coverage. So thanks, Tarte. The next concealer is something that I have used for a while and I really liked it. I just hate the packaging. And that is the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. So this is not my color. My color's upstairs, but it is like so dirty because the packaging is so terrible that I couldn't even bear to bring it down. The reason that I have such a problem with it, this you're not even going to tell, but like, okay, yeah, you will. Okay, look at that. So just by pulling it up in a weird way, it opens the top of it and becomes a mess. But the consistency and the actual formulation of the concealer and how it glides on and how it wears throughout the day is amazing. So that's why I had to throw it in this video. Definitely something that I probably wouldn't repurchase just because I feel like I don't want to waste so much product like on the outside of the package. I would definitely give this a medium coverage, more light to medium. It's definitely if you want to wear something a little bit more natural. I used to wear this on days where I didn't want to be as glam as I am right now, like a full lash and smoky everything and a red lip. Like it would be on a day where I would just kind of apply concealer underneath my eyes, throw mascara on and call it a day. This was definitely the way to go for me. I think that's like Milk Makeup's life motto is just kind of more like natural kind of products. I could be wrong. Whatever. This is okay if you want to purchase it. So the last concealer that I want to talk about, which honestly was my favorite holy grail concealer of the whole entire year, where I was so shocked at this. This is a brand that's like Tarte for me, something I just don't really find anything I like. It's just not, it's like a hit or miss for me. Like there's like one or two products that I've tried from there that I actually like. But other than that, I'm just kind of about it. And that's Too Faced. And this is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. And I love this. I really was so shocked. I know that a lot of people were talking about it here on YouTube. And that's kind of like why I went to go purchase it at Ulta. I was like, you know what? Let me see if it's worth all the hype that it's getting. And honestly, it was. This reminds me a lot of the Tarte Shape Tape if it had a little bit less coverage. So it's still medium coverage, I would say. Definitely not crazy full. But I don't feel like this is super heavy on my skin. I have it underneath my eyes right now. It sets really nicely with powder. It does not really settle in my creases that much. But I've noticed all concealers do kind of settle in my fine lines underneath my eyes. That is just something that's kind of inevitable. They're there. It is what it is. But I do like how this feels underneath my eyes when I'm blending it out. It just looks a lot more natural. It doesn't look so heavy. It doesn't look like there's tons of makeup underneath my eye, especially because, like I said, I really don't feel like I need a ton anymore. It still covers any dark circles that I have. It does the job without being over and extra like the Tarte Shape Tape. So next we're going to talk about powder. And I honestly don't really have that many powders. There's one that is new. You guys know I've used the CoverGirl translucent powder for forever. That is definitely a staple. It's always going to be a staple. I've talked about it in every single video. So at this point, you guys know that that is my favorite translucent powder. But like I said, this year I've been trying a lot more Urban Decay. So I feel like for a while, I just kind of wasn't trying like really super high-end luxurious brands. Like I wasn't like really in the makeup scene. Like I wasn't fully involved to the point where I like knew what was coming out, what was good, what wasn't good. But this year that kind of changed and I tried the Urban Decay Velvetizer. This is a powder and I honestly don't use that much. So I will use this if I want to touch up. So I never really set my whole entire face with this. I don't even think that I've tried, but I will use this if I want to like touch up if I'm getting a little bit oily because it is very finely milled. And when I apply it to my skin, it kind of just mattifies me and brings my skin kind of back to where I want it without looking powdery. Like that's what I really like about this, and I think it's because it's so finely milled. It doesn't give me that powdery cakey look. Sometimes I will use this to set underneath my eyes, just underneath my eyes, because I don't really want to set my whole face with this because it will make me a little too matte. But sometimes I like to just set it underneath my eyes and touch up my skin kind of throughout the day, and that's why it's lasted for so long. but I really like this. If you are oily, you will love this. I've yet to try this in the summertime. That is when I'm really going to be putting it to the test because, like I said, it does keep me fairly matte. So I'm really raring to see how this is going to work. And if you guys have tried it, let me know. Let me know what you guys feel about this. I definitely really enjoy what it does for me, what I specifically use it for. I don't have any bronzers for this year, which I'm a little bit sad about. I've just been using Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, which has been my favorite for a long time. I have an honorable mention blush that I did talk about last year, but it is something that has been my favorite for about a year and a half now, since they came out, honestly, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio in Peachy Love. And I've just kind of changed my mind a little bit. Usually I would use like kind of mixing all three, but I have been just staying to this shade right here, which is called Nectarine. And I really like a warm orangey blush on my cheek. I don't like an overly pink blush or a berry blush. Like, I don't like too much blush. And if I do, I like it to look warm. I like how oranges look on me. It just really complements my skin tone. That is why I stick with this one. But I do have another blush to mention here. Something that I have kind of just started reusing again. And I love it. I've been using it every single day since I found it again. And that is the MAC Blush in Warm Soul. I love it. I have it on my cheeks today. This is good if you want like a really natural makeup day. So if you just put like a little bit of foundation, concealer, bronzer, and this blush, it gives you like a nice natural glow from within. So you don't even really need to apply highlight, but you know, I'm extra, so like I do. But if you want your skin to just look so natural and look like you are just glowing and beaming from the inside out, this is going to be for you. I've not tried the new formula. I know that Samantha Ravndal said that they changed it up and she didn't like it. But this is the old packaging and the old formula. I just have so many makeup products that I don't get to use everything like all the time. Like I just get so many things in that I'm trying that like I can't ever really see true to like using one specific thing over and over and over again. Like I just kind of like find something else and I just continue to use different products. So next thing we're going to talk about is highlighters. And I love highlighters. It's something I'm kind of picky about now. And I have the most of. My collection is probably the biggest in the highlighter department because I just like trying them out. I have so many. But these are the three that I have been loving for the year of 2018. Oh my goodness. I'm like going back in time. 2018. The first one is from The Balm, and I think this year is probably the first time I tried any of their stuff, I think. They sent me out a package, like a care package, not a care package, like a PR package, I guess, and then they just kind of kept sending them. So this I finally got to try this year, and this is the Mary Luminizer by The Balm, and I love this. I do use this only when I am very fair. Like when I'm like Casper the Friendly Ghost fair, because if not, it'll just look like a white on my cheek, and I don't really like that look. I like more of the gold tones when I have a little bit more of a tan. Obviously, it's the middle of winter, so I don't. But this one makes you beam. A little bit of this goes a long way, and I do have the liquid highlighters from there that I have yet to try yet. Like I said, I just have so much stuff that comes in. I don't have enough time to just keep trying. But I will let you guys know in a different video if I do like the liquid version also, but the powder version is honestly bomb, and the packaging is pretty good because I have dropped this probably 3 or 4 times like on hard cement floor, and it is not cracked once. And no offense, I love the Becca ones, but if you were to drop them on a rug, they would shatter because they're so soft. But this is amazing. Next highlighter. I didn't even have any idea that they were coming out with highlighters. This is just a brand that you would never think would come out with a highlighter, especially because they do masks and skincare and stuff like that. But Glam Glow came out with this little palette. I don't like the packaging. I think it looks kind of like, I've said it before, I think it looks cheap. I don't like the rubberiness of it, but the highlighters inside are so nice. The middle one has definitely been my favorite. I use this a lot during the spring and summer, and the white one definitely is very similar to the Mary Luminizer. You can't really wear it unless you're really fair because it will give you like a white streak. But sometimes I'll mix them together and you beam, because there are like a little bit of glitter flecks in there, which I like sometimes. I only like glitter flecks to be in a highlight. Like, I don't like them in a bronzer. I don't like them in anything else other than highlighter, because it really just reflects the light so nicely. So I was really shocked that I even liked this palette. I gave it a shot and I was like, what? I was so unbelievably shocked by how much I liked this. It's definitely something I haven't used in a while because of the next product here that I'm going to talk about that I was using every single day religiously. But this one was definitely a good one if you haven't picked it up. I know GlamGlow is sometimes a little bit expensive. I personally know their masks are like $70, which they're worth it, but like, I'm sorry, $70 is a pretty penny. So the highlighting palette I was talking about was the Urban Decay Naked Cherry Highlight and Blush Palette. I don't really use the blush. I've yet to try it, but it definitely is in the mauve-y tones that I like, but it's the highlight. It's this highlight in particular. I've used the white side maybe once. It was a little bit too intense for me and I didn't love it, but this one right here is so amazing. I'm going to swatch it for you guys, and I have not swatched anything this whole time, but like, do you guys see that? Like on the back of my hand, it is so pretty. And this was another shock to me. I have said before, I really don't like the naked flushed palettes or the naked like trio palettes like this. The last one I had was like a naked flushed palette, and I was like, the blush part of it was what concerned me. It was like this color, and I'm like, no, I can never wear that on my cheeks. And the highlight was too intense and the bronzer was too orange. It's like, it took me out on a date and he paid. It was so good, and I really like this. So I do have like these 3 highlighters that I have been cycling through recently, and another one that I'm wearing right now that I honestly can't even remember what it's called, but I have it on right now. It's just one that I kind of put on yesterday and today, and I've been like loving how glowy I look. Next, I just want to mention these 2 beauty sponges. So this has been my favorite for a very long time, probably like a year and a half to 2 years. This is the Sigma 3D HD sponge or whatever. This is the brand new one that I've yet to use because I'm waiting to kind of fall out of a love with the Morphe sponge. This one is dirty, so dirty, but I love this. I've talked about it probably since I came back to YouTube, which was like 3-4 videos ago, or maybe 2. I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I really like this sponge. I know that some people have said that they don't like it, like that it absorbs their product. I think maybe it did that to me in the beginning, like maybe the first 2-3 times that I used it, but after I kind of broke it in a little bit, it just works perfectly. I really do like this sponge. I think it is worth it. I don't necessarily use this pointy side because I think it's too round that like I can't really get in there because my skin doesn't like curve at the angle that this does. But I do like to use the flat sides for foundation and concealer. In setting my face with powder, I think it works amazing. So if you guys haven't tried it, definitely give it a try. It's worth a try, especially because it's like $7, I think, at Ulta, which I think is very decently priced. I'm honestly shocked this year about how much Morphe stuff I actually like. Not shading them at all, but when they first came around, I bought all those palettes, like the Morphe 35O, the Morphe whatever they were. I bought so many of them, and then I was like, not impressed. Like, I felt like my Makeup Geek shadows just did so much more than these palettes. Like, yeah, their price point was great, but I felt like their shadows just didn't do it for me. Now, I honestly really do like them for the most part. I mean, like I said, I haven't tried everything. I haven't tried blushes or highlights or anything like that from them. I've honestly only tried really their eyeshadows and their makeup sponge and their setting spray. That's literally the extent of what I've tried from Morphe, and what I've tried so far, I like. On to my favorite eyeshadow palettes of the year. I only have 2 here. I have tried so many eyeshadow palettes over my last 5 years, and it has been very difficult to find ones that I love, that blend really well, that are pigmented AF, that are just overall good. The first one that I'm going to mention, I do have a love-hate relationship with, and I will explain why. That is the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill Vault. Some of these shadows are amazing. I'm not going to lie. The purple palette, I love. The this palette right here, the Ring the Alarm, I am obsessed with. There's one palette in, oh, this one too. This one's a really good one. This is the Armed and Gorgeous. Honestly, I've used that green so many times, and it's a shock too because I am not someone who really ventures outside of my zone with the like green and stuff like that. The one palette in this vault in particular that I just feel like I couldn't really get to work for me, and that is the Dark Magic, and that is the one that I wanted to work for me the most. I just feel like this shadow right here, so let me give you a little story behind it. I promise this is not going to be forever, but on Halloween, I went to go do like a blacked out smoky eye. It didn't work out because the black that I used was new, and I would apply it on and it literally wiped off my eye completely. And I was literally like, I did everything else and I was like, I really need to get this done. So I tried to use this guy. I really dug and dug and dug and dug into this, and I really got nothing out of it. Like, I got nothing. It pretty much ruined that shadow. I'm like 90% sure. I've tried the black in here. I don't really like it. I have used the blue before. I do like that and the green. Like these three right here, I really like. But everything else in the palette was just a miss for me, and that sucks because I really wanted that one to work the best. But all of the other three, I love. Like, I got them to work so well. They were so pigmented. They were so creamy. They blended so well. It was just the Dark Magic one that I was having such a difficult time with. And I hate it. Like, I hate that one. But everything else in here is great. I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings on Jaclyn. Honestly, I'm not here for it. Like, I'm here for makeup, and I'm here for it to be good, bad, or indifferent. So, other than that, whatever you guys feel about her or whatever you guys feel about the brand, this is my opinion on the eyeshadow palette, and that's the one I didn't like. The next one is something I have used every single day. I used it to create this eye look. I love this palette. It is definitely like a travel holy grail of mine. Like, I'm nervous to actually break it or something to happen. Like, I swear to God, if like the people at the airport, like when they're throwing your luggage, like break this palette, I'm gonna find who did it. Like, I'm gonna go break in the back and I'm gonna like look at the cameras and see who threw my thing and broke this, and I'm going to, I didn't really think about what it was gonna do to them, but I will find that out later. But I love this palette so much. I don't know if it's because my boyfriend bought it for me. It's probably because like he bought it for me before he left, and also because the shadows I think are really good. And this was another shocker this year, like a Sephora palette. Like Sephora eyeshadow. I was like, that's terrible. Like, I used to work there. Like, all the shadows, I was like, ooh, no. Like, I'm staying right away from those. But I love this guy. This is the Sephora Pro Warm palette. And I know that they have a colorful one, which I think I'm gonna, like, it's gonna be like my Christmas present to myself. As you guys can tell, I have dug into this bad boy. Like, I use this every single day of my life. I think it's worth the $70 that you pay for it. You do get a ton of eyeshadows. This is definitely an everyday wear. You could also make so many bold looks with this. $70 is pretty steep, and I know that that's not affordable to a lot of people. But if you do have the $70 and it's something that you kind of were eyeing and you wanted to try, I definitely recommend it. I really think I'm going to pick up the colorful one just because, like I've told you guys, I want to step away from this like warm orange looks. I'm tired of it. I want something colorful. I want to do something bold, and I want to do something different. So if you guys are here for that, if you guys are here for the bold, if you guys are here for the different, definitely give the video a thumbs up. So next are the lips, and then skincare miscellaneous, and then fragrance. I thought I would add those in because there's two that I'm absolutely obsessed with. First product I want to talk about is a lip scrub, and I am not someone who has ever believed in a lip scrub. It was just one of those things. It was kind of like Santa Claus. You want to believe in it, but you're like, you know what? I really don't ever see him, so like, how am I supposed to believe that he's real? That is how I felt with a lip scrub until I used one, and I'm like, it has changed the game. Like, I feel like my lips before, like, every winter were, like, cracked and gross, and, like, they just had, oh, it's just, I can't even describe it because it's disgusting. But this lip scrub by LA Girl, it's the Sweet Lip Scrub, is so great. It's, like, gently exfoliating. And I will use this kind of 1 or 2 times, more like 2 times a week, just because I do apply hydration on my lips all the time. I don't necessarily need to exfoliate all the time. It's just like the extra dry season is when you really need to exfoliate your lips. But I do this kind of like twice a week. I like to keep my lips, you know, looking really nice. I've had lip filler done twice, and I really want them to look good. So this lip scrub is something I've really liked, and LA Girl is something so affordable. I have started to like a lot of LA Girl stuff. Like, they have been sending me products for a long time, and I've kind of shot them down for so long because I was like, oh, I don't really like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And then I got like some stuff, and I'm like, oh, where have you been? This is holy grail stuff. But this is good if you guys haven't tried it. Lip products, I don't have too many. I'm not someone who wears lipstick a lot of the time. I don't like how it feels on my lips. I don't like having something on there and worrying about how it looks throughout the day, because you know what? Some of you people out there walk with red lipstick on your teeth. No one tells you. I don't know how that's not something that you're not constantly worried about all day. I would literally walk around with a mirror and I'd be like this. Is there like lipstick on my teeth? Like, hello? Hi, is there lipstick on my teeth? But the only products that I've really been loving are the ones from the Balm, and I've talked about these many times, and they are the Balm Jour creamy lip stains. And it's because they're a lip stain, but they're creamy, and they're kind of go on like a gloss, and they are very glossy, and they feel glossy on the lips, but they stay on so long. I've honestly not tried to kiss anyone with them, and I don't think I've tried to eat with them on, but they're so nice. I have all of the colors here. They're so gorgeous. This is one of my favorite ones, and this is Aloha. I just love these. This is the first year that I've tried anything from the Balm. I feel like people only talked about the highlighter. That's all I ever really heard about, is Mary Luminizer by the Balm. Mary Luminizer by the Balm. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what else? And then they came out with these, and I'm like, you sold me on a lip color that I would actually wear. And I have worn this out before multiple times, actually. And I like it, except if it's a windy day and the wind whips your hair into it. It's just like getting stuck in a gloss, and it's just a mess. Working our way to skincare. First, I want to throw in the one hair care item, and this is something I've talked about before, and then I went to hating it. Like, I absolutely hated it, and then I don't know if something with my hair changed, or I bleached it and it became a different texture, but I have began to like this again. So I wash my hair probably about every 4 days. And I know that that's going to sound so gross to some people. I'm really trying to get my hair to grow so long, and it just like doesn't, because I keep like bleaching it, but I like myself blonde better than I like myself dark, so it's like the struggle is so real over here. So I try not to wash my hair all the time, because I used to wash it every single day, and it was just damaging my hair, and I just wasn't having any natural oil, and it was a mess. But this dry shampoo from Batiste is so good. I used to really like this for a long time, and then for some reason, I don't know if they changed the formula or if my hair just got different, but I would use it and my hair would legitimately be greasier. And I'm like, how is that happening? I'm like, why is this a thing? Like, why would my hair be greasier if this is supposed to leave my hair feeling fresh and like it was just washed? I don't really understand it. But the original one, I think maybe because I was trying a bunch of the other ones that had like a ton of different scents, and they could be kind of a different formula or whatever, but the original one has been something that I have been loving for the last, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months. It's been really helping me try to grow my hair back out and get it to like a healthy something. Next, I have 3 skincare products that I want to mention. I'm not really crazy about skincare, and this sounds kind of terrible, but I feel like my skin looks so good, and it's mostly, I think, because of like my estrogen and stuff like that. Like, my skin has looked so good this last year, and not that you shouldn't wash your face, because I do that, but like going like extensively, I just don't do that much anymore. I feel like my skin looks better when I don't. As terrible as that sounds, don't judge me in the comments. The first product I want to talk about is something that I use the whole complete jar of, and that is the Green Clean Makeup Melting Cleanser Balm from Pharmacy. I have never heard of this brand before until I got it in my BoxyCharm. And it is like a melting cleanser. So it's a balm. You will put it in your hand. You'll rub it together, warm it up, and then start going on your face. And the oil from the balm cuts the oil of the makeup, and it literally melts your makeup off of your face. And I like this one because it does not leave my skin feeling stripped and like dry and tight and like stripped of its natural oils. Like every time I used it, it felt like I just put like a really deep moisturizer on my skin. Like it felt amazing. So I loved this. I used the whole thing up. I have to look to see where I can purchase it. I've been wanting to repurchase it for a very long time. I just kind of haven't gotten around to it. Next cleanser I have talked about before, and this year I started using it again. I took a break from it for a while, and I was using like the Glam Glow one at the end of last year to like middle of this year, I guess. And then I went back to this when I ran out of the other one, and this is the Origins Checks and Balances face wash. I like it because this one also doesn't make my skin feel overly dry. You guys know the type of face washes that you use and you are done, you like dry your face off and you feel like you're like, whoa, did I just get Botox? I can't move my face. What is wrong? I don't like those. I feel like those strip your skin of their natural oils, and that's not something that I like to do. Because then that makes your skin produce more oil, and then you get more oily, and I just am like, I think that's why my skin has been so normal now, and it's not oily, because I haven't been stripping my skin of its natural oils. So this is a really good product. I really like the Origins brand. I kind of just like how they're more of like a natural-ish brand, and I've used the Clear Improvements charcoal mask that I really like, and there was a retexturizing mask that I used a long time ago. I overall really do like the brand. They have a lot of stuff, and they are pretty affordable, I guess. This is like $26, $25, which I don't think is that much for a cleanser. But then again, I paid more, so I guess, like, don't judge me. Next product I got in a BoxyCharm box also, and I know that Dr. Brandt is a little bit expensive, and he's, like, a little bougie, but I really like this. This is the Dr. Brandt Microdermabrasion Age-Defying Exfoliator, and it's limited edition. Renew Skin Radiance, Polishes, and Smooth Skin. I love this. I have never been someone who believed in exfoliators. I felt like my skin just didn't need it. I felt like my skin... You know, I felt like the exfoliants were a little too hard. This does have beads in it, and I do have to be careful. You can't, like, really dig into your skin, but I do like to use this for a light exfoliation, especially after I get laser hair removal on my face. I don't have any hair, really. I just still go just to kind of keep up on it. You know, I have, like, this biggest fear that if I, like, stop going, that it's all going to, like, grow back, which I don't think is the case, but, like, you never know. I worked so hard to get rid of it. I want it to stay that way. But after, like, I don't know, I would say, like, a couple of days, I will use the exfoliator kind of once to twice a week just to kind of get my skin back to normal. Last two products, and then you guys can go free, do whatever you want, probably go to sleep, probably take care of your children, whatever you guys are doing. But I want to talk about these last two products, and they're fragrances. So this first one I got as a Christmas gift last year, and I love it. It's kind of mixed emotions from a lot of people in my family. They say that it's just a really strong scent, and that is the Marc Jacobs Decadence. I love the packaging. It is so cute. It's like a little purse, and it's got like this little doodah thing. I don't even know what it is, but I love the packaging of this. It smells so good too. I mean, it is stronger, and it's a little bit more muskier than something I would ever really go for. But I really think that this smells so nice on me. Like, I hope that it doesn't make me smell like an old woman, though. I feel like sometimes my mom is like, whoa, that is so strong. Like, why did you put so much on? And I really don't. Like, I'll do like 1 or 2 squirts like here, and that's it. It is done. It's over with. That's all that I do, which is something that you look for in a perfume. I don't want to spray something on and I'm like, it's already off. Like, it's already worn off. Like, I don't smell it anymore. Like, where is it? You know, like, I always like to just smell fresh and smell good as much as I possibly can. And the next one is something that's really near and dear to my heart, and that's because my boyfriend had sent it to me for my birthday. And it is from Tiffany & Company, and this is the new fragrance. It's called Intense. And I have no idea how he got so lucky because he did not smell this fragrance at all. He asked me to choose between Tom Ford and Tiffany. And I was like, obviously Tiffany. I had no idea what I was choosing, but it was a fragrance. And I can't believe he bought it, sent it to me without smelling it, and it worked out and it smells amazing. I love this. I've been wearing this every single day. I've only had it for about like 2 or 3 weeks, honestly, from my birthday, but I just thought it was so sweet and it's so sentimental and it's from Tiffany. So it's like, how can you not love it? So I hope you guys enjoyed my best of beauty for 2018. I hope that your guys' year was as amazing as mine had turned out to be. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys have been loving for the year of 2018. So maybe I can try some products and have new ones for 2019. Thank you guys for all the support. Don't forget to check out my last video. I will have that linked right here. Stay on the channel, have a couple laughs, learn a couple of makeup techniques, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye, guys.